emptiness that you feel is because he's saying, no, he's talking to me in this room. I'm finished with that. I have finished that course. And sometimes we want to hold on to a direction that God is finished with. Who am I talking to on this page today? Sometimes we try to hold on. We try to hold on to something that God is finished with. That God is finished with. And then because we don't have discernment about it, we become entangled with the surrounding of an issue rather than move your spirit beyond the issue. Like right now you have the ability to step beyond where you are. And everybody and everything would be left in the last place you stood in. But if you're going to move prophetically, you have to learn how to step out and step over into, so that everything behind you can follow you in that direction. But so many times we become entangled with the present circumstance. And we become enthralled and overwhelmed with the present circumstance. And you end up wasting time that you could have redeemed. And you didn't even need to be there. And sometimes we just stay too long. Sometimes we stay in a trial too long. And you look past yourself and 2 and 3 years from now and you look back at certain situations. I'm a witness. I'm a witness today. You look back at certain situations and you was like, why did I stay in that long? Why did I harbor over that as long as I did? It was just time wasted. It was just time wasted because the Lord is not getting ready to call you home. This is why you have to keep moving, because time waits for nobody. Time waits for nobody. Time is not on nobody's side. It's not on anybody's side. And if you don't move in the timing of God for certain things, you miss windows. You miss windows. The door will stay open. But whether or not you get through the door in the right timing is the key. And that takes discernment. And that takes wisdom. And what is wisdom? What is wisdom? The number one word for wisdom is the word prudence. Is the word prudence. And that's what the scripture said. For I dwell in prudence. I, wisdom, dwells in prudence. In other words, if you want to know the knowledge of where it is God is trying to take you, then you have to change your mindset and go to your future. Prudence is the care and the attention given to the future. That's what the word prudence means. It means the care and the attention that's given to the future. And if you want to know where God is, you have to get in the future. He is Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He is that. But where does he dwell? I dwell in where I'm going. I'm dwelling in your future. And somebody is saying, I just feel like I just can't hear from God. You can't hear from God because you're in your now and you're in your past. You're not in your future. And if you would just today turn your mind towards your future, you will start hearing from God. If you do that, if you make up in your mind right now while I'm on this live broadcast, I guarantee you before you click off, you will start hearing God. I would be talking and you would start writing notes. Because he said, I know the thoughts I think of you. They are good and not evil. He's saying, I'm here to give you your expected end. Oh my God. I'm here to give you your expected end. In other words, I'm here to give you what you are expecting. Expectation is what is to come, is not what has been. I'm here to take you to what you are expecting. That is my guarantee to you. My guarantee to you is that I'm here to advise you. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is an advisor. I'm here to advise you as to what your next step is. And that's why Solomon said, I don't care what you give me. Whatever. But what I want is wisdom. Because if I have wisdom, I have rationale. If I have wisdom, I have reason. If I have wisdom, then I know how to get from point A to point B. If I have wisdom, listen to this, I know how to get from point A to point B without mourning point A. Remember the backpack yesterday? I know how to get from point A to point B without having any regrets about leaving point A. Because point A is a finished work. And you know, sometimes God said this to me, and I used to live in this pattern, you know, many years ago. And I think my last little test, oh Jesus, last little test, and was the transition that I walked through. And the Lord used to always say to me, I want you to move from this to this. And I would just be, I want you to go from this to this. I want you to go from this to this. And back then he was challenging my obedience. I want you to go from this to this to this. And I would never move when God tell me to move. And then something would happen and it would just be devastating. Friendships, jobs, all of that. He would say, I want you to quit there. And I want you to go da-da-da-da-da. Because I want to send you da-da-da-da-da. And I would just be carrying on. Told me, he said, I want you to quit this job. I was working for Chubb & Son Insurance Company. He said, I want you to quit this job. Because I had desired to be a flight attendant. And then I was out telling the Lord I wanted to be a flight attendant. And so the door opened up. And I went to apply. And then the Lord said to me after I applied, I want you to quit this job. And I want you to get yourself ready and get yourself prepared. And I was like, you know, whatever. You know, I'm just gonna work right here until my change come. And he said, no, I want you to trust me and I want you to quit. Well, I didn't. And I lived about almost 2 hours in traffic away from Chubb & Sons Insurance Company. And so some days the traffic would be, you know, I would leave the house 4:30, 4:45. Then I have to be at work to 8, but it would take me that long to get to work in the Chicago traffic from the south side all the way past O'Hare Airport. So many of you that's on the line that know about Chicago, you know what kind of distance that is when it's no traffic. And I was working on the job, and so I had been late a couple of times because of traffic. And one day I walked into the job. I left at 4 o'clock that morning because there was a lot of snow outside. And I left the job and I came in to work and the lady said, you fired. And I was so devastated. I was so devastated. I went home. I laid down. I cried myself to sleep. And I woke up. And it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was getting ready to go to the store. I said, you know what? I just think I'm just going to go in and get me some milk. Because we were out of milk. And I'm going to eat me some cereal. And I just, oh well. I don't have a job. So I called my mother. My mother was praying for me. And I went on home and, went to sleep. Got up. And was looking under the bed for my shoe, and the phone rang. And wasn't nobody in the house but me. And I answered the phone, and the lady said, may I speak to Juanita Bynum? And I said, speaking. She said, this is Pan American Airlines. You must have really impressed somebody down there because I'm calling you to offer you the job of a flight attendant. I almost fainted. She said, you leave for training in about 2 weeks. I was like, oh my God. Why am I telling you this story? Because sometimes the Lord is calling us to walk in wisdom, and He's calling us to be future-minded. But we have a tendency to want to have a big fat funeral for everything that we have to leave behind. And because of that, in order for God to get you out and get you to your future, He has to devastate you out. There were some things that some of you all are going through right now because God was finished with it and you wouldn't let it go. The Lord was saying, I'm done with this over here, and you wouldn't let it go. He was saying, I want you to change and come this way, and you still going that way. I want you to do this over here, and you still worried about what they say and what they think, what they gonna say, who gonna say it about me, and what they gonna feel, and they gonna think I this, and they gonna think I that. You think too much. Some of us just think too much. Some of us overthink the process. When he didn't ask you to get in the thought of it, he asked you to get in the obedience of it. In the obedience of what I say. Are you hearing me? He's asking you to get in the obedience of what I'm asking you to do. And how do I know, God, that you're asking me to do it? Because it goes right back to the book. It goes right back to what we were saying yesterday. It goes right back to the fact that the first thing about it is that it is pure and undefiled. There would be no reason for God to say that to you. It's pure. It's not motivated by anything. It's not motivated by anything or anybody. It's a pure call from God to walk in a certain way and to do a certain thing His way. Because I keep telling you, everything is connected. Remember the rope yesterday? Everything is connected. And you being the missing peg out of place can mess with so many other things that's attached to this one move. He already got it lined up. He already got the people lined up. He already got all the circumstances. He already got the money lined up. All he's saying is, when you move into place, it'll be like, everything else lines up. Everything else is sitting apart, waiting on that one missing piece. And that one missing piece is you.